Hey there, my name's Julia. I'm 55 years old, have my PhD, and I'm a registered psychologist. I'm also South Asian and a mom. In this podcast, we explore the differences and similarities between our generations. I want the conversations to create a space that fosters intrigue, curiosity, and fascination. Thanks for listening.
Hi, my name's Reeya, and I'm a Gen Z, currently 18, turning 19. I'm in a program at university right now called Neuroscience and Psychology, which I'm really interested in pursuing. I wanted to create this podcast to help express myself and be more in tune with my feelings and also help create an environment where other people can feel the same.
All right, so as South Asian women, are we allowed to use our voice? Should we be using our voice now? Why does it feel so uncomfortable or hard? These are questions that come up all the time, and I think it's really important for us to talk about it because I believe that we should be able to use our voice now, and we're in a place where we can. So let's look at some stories around this. I know that I've had definitely lots of times when I felt like I wanted to use my voice and I just went quiet instead. Didn't know if it was the right place to or whether it was safe to. But I know that Ria, you also are saying that you've had many experiences with not being able to use your voice, where you find yourself shutting down. Did you have one in mind or one you want to share?
Yeah, sure. I mean, being a young South Asian girl in a family where there is a lot of men and we have a lot of big family gatherings, I find a lot of the times, also, I am very opinionated. That is something that we know, my family knows, a known fact, but I love speaking up about opinions and facts, and mostly when someone says something that I don't completely agree with, I like the ability to be able to debate about it in like a friendly way. It doesn't always have to be like aggressive. But I like for example, like a couple times we've been talking about like different treatments that we could do for my grandpa because he's in a wheelchair. And people would be talking about, "Oh, I think this is a good way," or "I think this is a good way." And I'm kind of just sitting there and I find myself getting like antsy because I'm like, I have something in mind, but I know if I speak up, either one, they're gonna ignore what I say, or two, someone's just gonna speak over me. So I kind of just shut it out and later on go talk to my mom and be like, "Oh, I was thinking about this, but I know no one would have heard me." And usually at the end of it, when I talk to someone one on one, they say, "Hey, that was a good idea. You should have said something." But I'm like, at the time being, there was no opportunity to. If I tried, it would have been shut down or it would have been kind of not really heard, even though even if I talk as loud as I can, it would be kind of like, okay, like let's move on to other ideas, which
Hmm.
honestly I don't think is fair.
Yeah, totally. It's not fair. And what I'm hearing is this feeling that I get a lot, and I know my kids have also said this before too, and my kids are girls, is we kind of feel like we're invisible,
Yeah.
right? Like, did anyone hear what I just said? Like, it's like,
Yeah.
do I need to yell? Do I need to like, am I not projecting? And like, I don't know about you, but I used to go into like self-doubting, like I must not have said it loud enough, or I must have, I don't know, like something, but I would just blame myself when really I think it's exactly what you're saying, that we're not acknowledged. We're not, we're just dismissed or just completely ignored, like you said. And that's not
Yeah.
cool.
And I go like going back to how you said like you self-doubt and like you think about it later. I find myself doing that because you're kind of like, was the idea bad? Is that
Mm.
why people ignored me? Or was it just they didn't even see me or hear me, which is not fair because I find everyone has the equal right to have an opinion. It's not like if you're older, you have more, you're younger, you have less. Like everyone should be able to speak. Mostly when it's a family gathering, you want to feel just as included as everyone else. Um, and the thing is, it's not only yelling. Like if I were to yell, it would be more of like, why are you yelling right now?
Right, right. You don't
This
even
is
get heard then, right?
Yeah, it would be like this is a just a normal conversation and you're here like yelling like it's like a big debate. Um, but if let's say like my brother or my dad had something to say and they said it in a normal tone, we would all automatically just look and listen, which is
Uh-huh.
something I find that we don't get the same like I guess opportunity as that.
Yeah, well, it's the same respect, really, at the end of the day. That's
Yeah,
what it is. So it's like, yeah, the male voice comes in and suddenly everybody kind of goes quiet and listens, and then as soon as a woman's voice comes in, it's like, what? Did you speak? Like it's
I
completely
know.
ignored. Yeah, it's almost like they can't hear the pitch.
Yeah, it's like it's hard to be someone so opinionated when you really don't have the opportunity to share your opinion as much. So it's kind of just like you kind of just sit and have all these opinions but no place to say it, so they just kind of build up and build up and build up.
Hmm.
I do find though a lot of women now post on social media to share their opinion and they're just talking to the screen and they're like, this is how I feel about this situation. And they have that free space to talk about it. And I really
Mm.
do like that. Like it's like journaling, but now in like the modern century.
Mm. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I like that. Journaling in the modern century. Yeah, that's actually
Yeah.
really neat, right? Getting your thoughts out, getting your words heard kind of, you don't know who's hearing it technically, but you're still putting it out there with this idea. And you're right. That's exactly how I started my YouTube videos when I did it for parenting and all the stuff. Was like, I don't know who I'm talking to, but I feel like I need to say all these things, that
Yeah.
these are important messages to get out in the world, and whoever lands on it was meant to and can hear it. But you're right. Like that's kind of like a safe place to create our voice or practice using our voice, right?
Yeah, and even if, like, let's say people are commenting or they disagree with what you're saying, just delete the comments or turn off your comments. Like, if you just want it as a safe space to, like, speak out your opinion, to be heard, and, like, if someone, I guess, what's that word? Like, if someone agrees with it or finds that it's something they also feel the same way about, it creates that environment where you feel safe speaking your own opinion. And I think that's hard for a lot of like women or even South Asian women to have in their own household, which is
Hmm.
sad.
It is sad, yeah. But what I like from what you're saying is that it is a place where at least we can start using our voice. And to me, this is going back to kind of like the brain and psychology around we're creating a pathway in our brain that becomes familiar that, oh, we do speak our mind, right?
Yeah.
Our brain's pathway doesn't know that we're not speaking it directly to somebody. So it's the practice part of it still actually happening, right? It's like
Yeah.
when we practice a speech out loud before we do give a speech, that kind of thing.
Okay, yeah.
Right? It's the same idea. So that way, when you get used to sharing, then all of a sudden, when we're in a situation, let's say with somebody who typically would dismiss us, suddenly we've practiced it and now we can actually more likely use it, right? 'Cause-
Yeah, and
yeah.
that makes sense. I feel like the more you, I guess even journaling, for example, like I love journaling. So whenever I journal and be able to speak my opinions to my journal, I'm like, okay, it's out. I don't feel like it's so stuck in my head and stuck in my brain. So the next time we have a conversation where maybe people aren't listening to me as much, I still don't feel as overwhelmed or as overlooked. Like I'm like, okay, like I was able to get it out. And now I can just listen to these people, or I can, speak up if I find the time is allowed. But I do wish that it was just like if I talked, I got the same respect. I just
Mhm.
don't know how we are able to make that environment happen, I guess.
Yeah, without yelling, like you said. Right?
Yeah, and everyone being like, what is going on?
I mean, from my own experience, I've like not as a therapist, but as me, like is I was like, let's say the mastermind that I joined. So I joined a mastermind and I was very intimidated. When I got in there, I was kind of like, okay, sort of scanning the environment of the little Zoom screen of all the different people that are in there. And I'm like, I can't speak, right? There's no way I'm going to speak. But what I did was I created safety for myself by getting to know each of those people or many of those people individually. So I went out of my way. It took a little bit of time, but went out of my way to get to know them personally. And then when I came back in, I was like, okay, now they know me, I know them, and then I started using my voice. Now,
Yeah.
that's not, I'm not saying that doesn't help with the problem of oppression and being dismissed. What it does, though, help with is at least now I'm being heard. And that's, I think, still a win for us as women.
Yeah, and I think that must have helped with like your confidence as well, being like able to feel confident to speak in front of like all the faces that you were seeing and like the intimidation that comes with it. I
Exactly.
think that definitely helps.
Yeah. And again, I'm not saying that that's right, that I should have to do that because I shouldn't have to do that. It should be a welcoming, open space where I feel like I will be heard. And, you know, I think that's, we have to look back at when did we shut ourselves down? What were the experiences that we had that where we weren't heard and we learned that we're never heard? Also, there's just the truth around, women, South Asian women of color just not being heard. I actually witnessed it firsthand without giving away any names. I was doing a course and it was by a woman of color, and there was a person who came in who was a white man, and he just took over, right?
Oh,
And I was like, wow, okay. And everybody in the group was surprised, and this is a highly respected man, but he did not see that he just trampled over the
yeah.
instructor. And so we discussed it with the instructor later, and she acknowledged it and recognized it and knew it. And she said that, she will be speaking to him outside of it, but she wasn't going to call him out and embarrass him in that moment, which was respectful, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite, I'm like, wow, this is like unbelievable that he has no awareness. And again, it's a highly respected, I still respect him for what he does in the world, but that dynamic was like, wow, he's
Not
really
yeah,
unaware.
that's not it's also not really nice that like it is nice that she was like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything to him in the moment, but it definitely was not a nice feeling if this is something that she was supposed to be running, and now it's kind of just like it was taken over.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really exactly. Exactly. And
Yeah.
she did think it through carefully. Like she was like, "Do I could say something right now, but there was reasons behind it and I understood it." But it's really this happens all the time though, right? Like I mean, I
Yeah.
work with so many women who are in higher levels in corporate situations and their voice is not heard in the boardroom.
Yeah.
And so it's again, so to me, I want to make sure that my voice is heard, but I do know that I have a part of me that does what you said, which is like, there's no point. I'll just say something to someone individually, right? Like what you did with your mom, when you said you talked to her individually later, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I met with people individually and shared my thoughts. So that's fine, except we have to be able to ultimately get to a place where we are also sharing it in the group. And
Yeah.
that's where this practice piece works. But on a bigger level, yeah, how do we start changing, this kind of systemic dismissal and oppression? I mean, that's a bigger picture, obviously, that
Yeah.
we're working on.
Yeah, that is like, I guess, harder for two people to say like exactly how it's supposed to be fixed. I feel like there's no exact way. I think it's just something that we kind of have to go through and to keep building our way to be able to get to that point where we have the floor when we have the floor. It's not like we semi have the floor
Mm.
and someone can talk over us randomly. It's like, no, when I'm talking, we listen, and I'll do the same for others because the like main point of this episode, the question was, is using your voice respect or is it not respectful? I think it's respect. I think being able to share your opinion in not a offensive way is should not be seen as disrespectful. It should be just seen as you're sharing your opinion. And I think that's where a lot of people see it differently, maybe in different cultures, maybe different households. But I just don't understand why it's like that for us and not for other people.
Like for women and especially women of color. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. And that's obviously going way back, as far colonial, histories and all of the patriarchal systemic issues that have come up over the years are what we're battling here. And I
Yeah.
think that's why it's so important for us to recognize being here anyways in Canada, where we are, we can safely,
Yeah.
you know, today use our voice. And so it's important for us to make sure that we are taking the time to learn how to do that because it's new for us too because we weren't allowed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's true. Like recognize and be grateful that we're able to. That's true.
Yeah, careful with the grateful word. I get a little nervous about that because, I think that we should have always had this opportunity, but
Yeah.
I think it's more looking at it like, okay, we are safe. So I'm privileged enough that I'm safe here because there are lots of places in the world where it still isn't physically, emotionally at
Hmm.
all safe to use a voice as a woman. It's can lead to horrible things.
Yeah.
Here, yeah, you might get dismissed, but we can still practice standing our ground and not sort of doing what you and I have done, which is like, well, I'm not going to be heard here, so I'll just say it a different way, right?
Yeah.
Start practicing that way and then coming back and staying in it in a group. Like, okay, if I wasn't heard the first time, let's try again. So much for listening. And just a reminder that the information that you are hearing through the podcast, whether that's through us or through anybody we might be interviewing, that the content is not meant to be therapeutic in any way. It is not therapy. If you do feel like you need some support, please go and seek out a mental health provider. The information is really meant for educational and entertainment purposes. Thanks again, and don't forget to follow.